We are going to learn about limiting the use of FX so you don't overwhelm your computer system. Welcome back to my series of videos working through the Sonic Pi tutorial. In this video, section 6.2, FX in Practice. Reading from the tutorial. Although they look deceptively simple on the outside, FX are actually quite complex beasts internally. Their simplicity often entices people to overuse them in their pieces. This may be fine if you have a powerful machine, but if, like the person writing this tutorial, you use a Raspberry Pi to jam with, you need to be careful about how much work you ask it to do if you want to ensure the beats keep flowing. Consider this code. Loop do with fx reverb do play 60, release on 0.1, sleep 0.125, and end. Let's give it a quick listen. Okay, sounds reasonable enough. In this code, we're playing note 60 with a very short release time, so it's a short note. We also want reverb, so we've wrapped it in a reverb block. All good so far, except let's look at what the code does. First we have a loop, which means everything inside of it is repeated forever. Next we have a with FX block. This means we will create a new reverb FX every time we loop. This is like having a separate FX reverb pedal for every time you pluck a string on the guitar. It's cool that you can do this, but it's not always what you want. For example, this code will struggle to run nicely on a Raspberry Pi. All the work of creating the reverb and then waiting until it needs to be stopped and removed is all handled by with FX for you, but this takes CPU power, which may be precious. How do we make it more similar to a traditional setup where our guitarist has just one reverb pedal, which all sounds pass through? Simple. We just rearrange the reverb and the loop. We put our loop inside the FX block. This way we only create a single reverb for all notes playing in our loop. This code is a lot more efficient and would work fine on a Raspberry Pi. Let's listen to this one. To me it sounds about the same. A compromise is to use with FX over an iteration within a loop. So here we have loop do with FX reverb do 16.times do play 60 release colon 0.1 sleep 0.125 and end. This way we've lifted the with FX out of the inner part of the loop and we're now creating a new reverb every 16 notes. We'll listen to that. Again, sounds about the same to me. This is such a common pattern with FX. This is such a common pattern that with FX supports an opt to do exactly this, but without having to write the 16 times block. And that looks like loop do with FX reverb, reps, colon, 16, do, and again play 60, release, 0.1, sleep 0.125, and end. We'll listen to that one. Again, sounds pretty similar to me. But the internals matter. Both the reps 16 and 16 times.do examples will behave identically. The reps 16 essentially repeats the code in the do end block 16 times, so you can use them both interchangeably and choose the one that feels best for you. Remember, there are no mistakes, just possibilities. However, some of these approaches will have a different sound and also different performance characteristics. So play around and use the approach that sounds best to you, whilst also working within the performance constraints of your platform. Thanks for watching.